The Empowerment Show aims to equip individuals with the necessary tools, knowledge, and confidence to make informed decisions and take control of their lives. It also focuses on ensuring access to essential resources and the opportunities.
Boom. Let's get to it. The Gifted Gorilla Show. Welcome. If this dope, we're going to bring more people and we're going to do more interviews. You hear me? So y'all have to let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get to it.
Yeah.
Who we got today with us representing?
You already know we got RSF Boss 10, aka Boston Jeezy. What's good?
It
What's
said
good?
RSF Boss 10.
Yeah.
Boss 10.
RSF Boss
Okay,
10.
okay.
You know how we do it.
Yeah, we won't get into like what the name mean, the RSF right this minute. We'll just that but I want to know. I got some questions for you today. Are you ready to get technical with me today?
Yep. Yep.
So,
Let's do it.
all right. First, give me a rundown where you born and raised at. Let's go like that.
Me, I'm born and raised in Montana. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? On a reservation. I'm Native American. And that's where I was born and raised up to a certain age, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I didn't get my name from there, but
Okay.
yeah,
And how old are you?
I'm 42.
All right. Okay. And you do like music.
Yeah,
And you do make music.
I make music. Yep.
Okay.
Write my
Okay.
own music, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you know.
All right. Okay. So now I want kids and people to understand that I give stories as well. So I'm gonna get it from another person aspect. And we're gonna get a little bit deeper now, y'all. So let's get with it. We're gonna go into depth with things. So you've been in prison before, right?
Yep. Yep, prison. Juvie before that though.
Okay. How did you go to jail and why? Break this down.
My first bid, I was 14 years old
Okay.
and I committed a bank robbery. Me and my older
Okay.
homeboys. Actually, my brother-in-law, Mr. Blue, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? He's not with us no more, but that was my driver when we robbed the bank. He was 19, and my older brother, Lil Crazy, he's serving 100 years right now, you know, for murder. But he's the one that went in with me to the bank. I was 14, and he was 18, and back in back in the 90s, 97. You know what I'm saying? That's when I committed my bank robbery and did my first bid. You know, um, I was a juvenile though, so the feds tried me as a juvenile, and I got sent to a federal juvie. I got I got 4 years, but it was a mandatory year, and if I took like certain classes, you know what I'm saying, like parenting class, knocked off like 6 months from my sentence. So I ended up doing a year in a federal juvie down in Chamberlain, South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Yeah, they sent me all the way down there.
Chamberlain.
Chamberlain, yep,
Um,
yep.
hold on. So you robbed the bank.
Robbed the bank, yep.
And
I
you was
went it.
14.
I was 14 years old.
So wait, hold on. What
14.
okay. I did some crimes. Okay. But I want to see if your mind frame was something like I was going through. What made you do it though? Who came up with the idea? Who planned it? How did it go? Since you already went to jail, so you can explain it.
Yeah,
They can't double jeopardy you. So break this down.
yeah.
Let me get the understanding.
Well, let me put it like this. Okay, so um, 12 years old is when I started gang banging. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Gang banging.
So um, that right there, you know what I'm saying? I was already that type of lifestyle. You know, robbing a bank ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna come up. We're gonna get some money. Um,
So everybody came up with the plan together.
Actually, me and my homeboy Boo Boo, and Lil Crazy, my brother, we was gonna rob the bank together, and we came up with this plan at a party, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And Boo Boo ended up not wanting to do it, so my brother-in-law, Mr. Blue, he was our driver, and we, what I'm saying, um, which is crazy because these us three bank robbers, we started, what I'm saying, I mean, not to get off subject about everything, but we started a neighborhood together, what I'm saying. So the neighborhood that I'm from
Yeah.
was started by three bank robbers, what I'm saying, and I mean,
So that's what that little neighborhood do, rob banks.
yeah,
And
yeah, but
the neighborhood rob banks, yo.
yeah, and so that's where, even though I'm born and raised in Montana,
So all this happened in Montana.
this happened in Montana, but before that, I was already connected with California. You know what I'm saying? Because my original neighborhood is Barrio Azusa, and people from Southern Cali, they know Azusa. Azusa 13. That's my neighborhood that I'm from. But after, what I'm saying, moving away from there, because a lot of people don't know this. Back in the '90s, a lot of people was coming up from California and Washington,
Yeah.
and that's why a lot of Crip neighborhoods, Blood neighborhoods, what I'm saying, and Sereno neighborhoods, came up to Washington and to Montana, because back then people was going down to California and getting put on, what I'm saying? Just like I went from Montana, got down to Azusa and got put on, what I'm saying?
So
That's just the way it was back then. So, and people were up from California moving drugs back and forth, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't nothing for us in Montana to run into, like, the,
so
what I'm saying, real
what did you
motherfuckers
have to
connection,
do? To get put on to what you believe in?
I mean,
Explain that part.
I can't go too deep into,
Yeah.
what I had to do, get put on, you know what I'm saying?
Don't
But,
indict yourself though.
what I'm
But yeah.
saying, gangster, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Okay, so
back.
tell me this. Let's go back a little bit. You was 14 when how long did you do when you went to jail when you was 14
Okay, so
for the bank robbery?
on that bank robbery,
Yep.
what we did too was, we I had my brother, Mr. Blue. He dropped me and Little Crazy off in the alley, and we walked through the alley, and we was walking by the store, and right when we was walking by the store, we was putting on our mask because the bank was across the street. You know what I'm saying? But there just happened to be a store employee that was outside smoking a cigarette. This is before cell phones. You know what I'm saying? He was like on a cordless phone talking to somebody, but he was on a smoke break, and he happened to see us put on the mask and run into the bank. And when I read the paperwork later, he was one of the witnesses on my case, because he said he came out of the store to have a smoke break, because it was next to a grocery store. And me and my brother, a little crazy, we put a rock in the doors because sometimes the banks have automatic locks. Oh, this is okay. Now I'm remembering shit. We was talking to OG, you know what I'm saying, from the neighborhood, that said he robbed a bank and he had a million stashed away when he got out of prison.
Yeah.
And he's the one that told us, if you rob a bank with no gun,
Mm-hmm.
the maximum sentence you can get is 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did was slip up a note to the bank teller, and I wrote on there, "Give us the money, please." And this was during the
Please.
yeah, this was during the summer. I was going from junior high to high school. I was going from eighth grade to ninth grade when I robbed the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is how young I
So
was.
you were still in
I
school.
was. It was the summer of me going into high school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm
So
out there robbing a bank.
so did you so when you give it a note, what happened?
And everybody's gonna trip out and check this out, because it was the summertime. The lunch lady at my school was the bank teller, but I didn't know that until I ran up in there. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm,
that was her
mm,
like summer
mm,
job,
mm, mm,
for real. But I had a
mm,
mask on, and my brother, he didn't have a mask on, because he said if you rob a place with no mask on, they think you're gonna kill you. They think you're gonna kill.
mm, mm.
And but anyways, so we gave them the note, and by law they have to give you the money for the safety
So
of
how
their
much money they
employees.
give you?
We got away with like 25 G's.
Okay,
You
so
know what I'm
what
saying?
happened when they give you the
In
money?
15 seconds. 15
Was it
seconds.
in the bag? Was it loose?
No, I had, back in the day we had the CD bags,
Yeah,
like where we keep our CDs. Well, I had like a,
like music
a
CDs,
big one like that, but I had the CDs ripped out, so it was like a
the
case.
black bag.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So when she said,
right here.
when she was she kind of
I
laughed.
know your parakeet, your
Yeah.
bird over there looking just. You got to take care of the bird over there.
Hold up. But yeah,
So
But okay, check it out.
you put it in the black bag,
Well,
the satchel.
yeah, let me. Okay, I slipped up the note. The lady, she looked at
Okay.
us. She kind of laughed. My brother, you know what I'm saying. He didn't pull his. He had a little 38 snub nose. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, in his belt. And when he said, "You think we're messing around?" and he pushed her back, and
Yeah.
then he showed her that, and then they just went like that. And I jumped over the counters and I opened the tills,
Yeah.
and it was closing time, so they had like all the ones, fives, and like small bills, but and then we had some stacks of hundreds too, and I just boom, boom, boom,
Was
loaded
it
them up.
what was going through your mind at the time? Was it interesting?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you the truth. When we was walking through the alley, I told my brother I don't want to do this.
You were scared then.
Nah, for real. I'm 14. He's 18.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then he's like, "Oh, man, you're gonna make me
So how you get caught?
do this by myself." Okay. So we got the money and we ran out the door. This was so unplanned. And my brother, Mr. Blue, you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? He was driving so slow that when we told him by the time he drives around those 15 seconds, we're gonna be out the door. He
Hmm.
was still on the other side. So we had to run down like a few alleys.
Hmm.
And then, I changed my clothes and everything, and I had some shoes I threw, whatever. I put it back on my shoes, and we dumped everything, and then we took off. But we didn't know the store employee already called the cops. So by the time we was going,
The kid on the phone,
yeah,
on the cordless phone,
yeah, yeah,
smoking. Okay.
yeah. By the time we was heading out of town,
Yeah.
we was actually heading to Oakland. That's where we was going.
Yeah, with the money.
Yeah, we was going to
And it was
Oakland.
three
You know what I'm
y'all.
saying? It was three of us, but we was gonna let my brother, Mr. Blue, off at the house.
Why?
He's with my sister. You know what I'm saying? That's
So
what.
he had to stay there and.
Yeah,
But that don't make sense though. He should have. Y'all just robbed the bank,
yeah,
man.
for real. You know what I'm
He
saying?
don't stay in the area. That is
Yeah,
crazy. Why he
and
staying in
he
that?
he only said
So who got caught first
well, they had a roadblock up the way.
when y'all left?
Yeah, when we
So
left,
all three of y'all
we
got
was
caught
we was
at
heading out
once.
of town. Boom, and they had like four cops going by, and we thought we got away, and we was like counting the money. Bam, bam, bam,
So the
bam.
cops cars was passing y'all the same route y'all was going.
Yeah, they was good.
They just sped past y'all.
And we turned around and they didn't even fucking stop. You know what I'm saying? So we thought we was home free, and then we got maybe about 2 miles up the road, and they had a roadblock. You know what I'm saying? And then we tried to flip a Yui and everything, and then all the other cops, they must have turned back around, and we was just cornered. And they had me get out first. They said, I had to open
So
my
they must have
can.
been following. Did they have a tracker in the money?
I don't know if they had a tracker in the
Because
money.
listen, that's what they used to have back
They
in the
used to have
day.
that funny money.
And
Yeah,
for them just to block
yeah,
your car out of all the cars,
yeah.
just to stop that specific car
No,
now.
no, no. We seen the roadblock, so us not even thinking. We was like, "Phoom."
What about the other cars? Y'all was the only one on the road?
The no, the other. We seen the roadblock up the way a little bit because it came to a slow traffic, but the
Okay, so
roadblock just happened like minutes before, so
so
there wasn't that much traffic. There was like maybe five cars ahead, but
okay, so what about those cars? Why the police didn't go to them instead of y'all?
because we right away just went, we just turned. You know what I'm
Y'all
saying?
made y'all self look obvious.
Yeah, we was out of there.
Okay.
So
All right. That makes sense.
yeah, they got
Then they're
us.
gonna come behind you.
They got us out. You know what I'm
But if you
saying?
stayed there, you would have been all right.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Meaning
Because
one of y'all didn't have the
we
mask on.
we got the Dickies on. We're all bald heads. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We got
yeah.
the bandanas.
You'll probably look,
We
yeah,
got the Cortez shoes, so you already know we're like
yeah, y'all looking.
tattoos. We're already looking.
Okay,
So
so tell me about your first day in jail.
well, my first it was a juvie, yeah, and I was 14, and um,
Break it down. Your first day in jail, man. How did you feel? Was you nervous? Was you scared? Did
I was
anybody?
nervous. I was
What
scared.
you?
You know what
Was
I'm
anybody
saying?
there to save you? Who was with you? What did you believe in?
I mean,
Tell me.
I had my mom and dad there. You know what I'm saying? But uh, I was inside, so I had all kinds of emotions. I'm not gonna front either. You know what I'm saying? I cried a little bit, but I had to do that by myself because I already knew what time it was.
But
You
I
know what I'm
want
saying?
you to get in debt when you first walked off the bus from the courtroom, yo.
Okay,
Explain
so
me through that walk when you went to the jail, when you first got in the building, what you had to do. They had to take your clothes or whatever, right?
yeah,
Get
yeah,
through that part.
yeah.
Booking and shit, then tell you was feeling.
When I first,
So you could tell so the
yeah,
kids can hear
yeah,
the worry that you
uh,
had.
yeah,
So they know not to go, and this is how you
yeah,
felt. So this is
yeah,
what I want you to explain to me.
yeah. And I'm telling you this, you know what I'm saying?
In
Because
the back of the cop car,
I was 14 years old, so I was on
you
my
was a
summer break.
kid.
You know what I'm saying? I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I had my own
You
bedroom.
really didn't have much to
I
think
had
about.
everything. You know what I'm saying? And I went from that to you know what I'm saying, not being able to wear my own clothes and everything into a jail cell. So like me walking, getting in the cop car, I knew I fucked up, but it didn't hit me. It didn't hit me until they was taking me out, you know what I'm saying? And then I was getting booked and processed, and you got to strip down, you know what I'm saying? They take pictures of all your tattoos, you know what I'm saying? They ask where you're from, and you know, where I'm from though, we're kind of taught not to, you know, say we're
What
from
prison
nowhere.
was this?
This I was in a Kalispell juvie, and then I went to a federal
Okay,
juvie
okay.
in South Dakota.
All right. So look, I'm not interrupting,
But
but
when
I got
when I got to the juvie right there, and it's called Kalispell Juvenile, you know, Correctional Center, which was a very,
that's a juvenile center.
yeah, and it was a small one, you know what I'm saying? Because the feds didn't know what to
All
do
right.
with me at first because
We got a commercial coming up. We'll be back right with y'all.
we'll be right back.
You just
But the
you can say how it is. So
yeah,
tell me, we back. Thank you
okay,
for the introduction. Thank you for the commercial break. Let's get back into it with RSF Boss 10.
yeah,
Now, tell me your first day going to prison.
okay. My first day in prison, you know what I'm saying?
Now,
What
this
you
how I
want? You
want you
want
to
me to talk
start off.
about?
I'm gonna start. This how I want you to start off, just so you can get an idea.
Okay.
You woke up in the county jail. They have to extradite you from the county that morning or whatever time it be, right?
Hmm.
You and whoever else going. Y'all go up front to segregation, right? To the control center.
Yeah.
It's probably 3 in the morning or 4, unless you already on the streets. Then you go to court. Then they take you to the holding cell in the back of the courtroom. Then you go to the county jail. Then you wait to get shipped from there to
To
prison.
prison.
So how did your interaction happen?
Mine, you know what I'm saying? Going to prison was I had to because I was a Fed inmate. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So when I was getting going to prison, I got flowing, you know what I'm saying, out of Montana, and I'm telling you, I was this time I was when I got busted I was 14, so I'm 15 now by the time I'm sentenced and all that, and I'm going to prison for my first time. So the feds come and pick me up in Montana, and I have two federal marshals by me. I'm in my white t-shirt, you know what I'm saying, some like khakis that they have, and I got a belly chain with a black box, you know what I'm saying? People are gonna know what I'm talking about, you know,
Yeah.
and you got you're shackled up and you got the shackles on the belly chain, you know what I'm saying, with the black box. And that's how I had to get transported on the airport.
I
But
like that.
I took a regular flight from Montana to Minneapolis airport.
So they
And
took you on mini flight, then on the big airplane.
yes,
And you
yes,
had other people with you, right? Okay.
civilians, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So
Free people, you know what I'm saying? People that I was the only one that was, it
it
wasn't
was
like
in a
Con Air.
cage part. You had a cage in there
No,
on
they
the
sent me in the very back, and then
by
the
yourself.
two, no, two federal marshals right next to me.
So how did you feel that night before you knew they was coming to get you while you was in your bed cell?
Oh,
That's what I want to know.
okay,
But
so
the day prior, tell me about that whole day prior before you leaving.
the day
And what?
prior, yeah,
Yes,
because I knew any day was coming, you know what I'm saying? But they don't really tell, and the thing is, people don't know this, you know, if, unless you've been locked up, they turn off the phones, you know what I'm saying? So when they tell you what's going on, you can't call your people and try to like escape or nothing. So we know we'd always check the phones at night and see if they're on or off. And if they was off, we knew somebody was getting transported. So I was like, I already been sentenced.
yeah.
I've been there for a minute. So we checked the phones were off, and we're like, oh, somebody's getting in, going to get told they're getting transported, you know what I'm saying, going to the big house, you know what I'm saying, the main yard.
So
So once they had those phones off, you know what I'm saying, I was ready because I was ready to get out of juvie and get to, you know, a main yard.
yeah,
But I was still nervous because if you know,
you was
places are
nervous,
active, you know what I'm saying? And everybody, especially in juvie,
and you never been here before.
everybody's gang
So
banging,
you was
everybody's
worried.
yeah, I was worried. I was a little bit worried, you know what I'm saying, but I was
So
ready.
so what time
I've been
did you leave?
programming for the last six,
Okay,
seven
so what
months, you
time did
know.
they come and get you from your cell?
It's probably about, I would say, 4 in the morning. They
Okay,
came and
so
told me.
from 12 o'clock that night, what was you doing? Could you sleep? Could you not? Was you thinking,
No, I was
reading,
sleeping.
up, waiting?
No,
What?
I probably read a book or something. You know what I'm saying? We might have played a little bit of cards, maybe some spades or something. But uh, yeah, it was just a regular night. You know what I'm
And
saying?
so you didn't really care. You were
I
just
didn't.
waiting.
Yeah, I was already sleeping, but when they woke me up, I already knew. They was like, "Aim's back." You know what I'm saying? Get your stuff up. You know, you're leaving.
And then that's when they put you
Hmm.
up front.
Put me up front for a while, and they still
Yeah.
had like an hour. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting, and then I got the two feds, the federal marshals, and it's everything that you would picture in the movies. They had the sunglasses, they had the suit and tie, they had the revolver. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
had the, you know, they didn't. I
So
don't.
it was exciting to you. It was new, something different, right?
You know, at
But you
that,
were
you already know
scared
at
though.
that age. You know what I'm saying? When we're in those streets and gangbang, this is
Yeah.
just
So
part of
how
the
old are you
life.
now when this happening?
I'm 15. I'm 15.
When this happening?
Yeah, I'm 15 when this is happening.
Okay.
I turned 15 in jail,
Okay.
in juvie. You
Okay.
know, that was my first
So
birthday.
that's
Locked up.
juvenile you at right now.
Yeah, that's my first
No, I'm
birthday
talking
locked
about
up.
prison.
Oh,
I want you to get to
oh, you want,
prison.
okay. Well, I was
Yeah.
16. Okay.
I
I
want you to tell me about when you went to prison,
okay,
not
okay,
juvenile.
okay. So when I robbed that bank, when I finally got out, I was out for 7 months.
Okay.
And then I caught another case,
Okay.
and I was trying to shoot a rival in the park, and I with a sawed-off shotgun, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got my attempted murder pleaded down to a felony assault, you know what I'm saying? Because
Okay.
I didn't like pull the trigger or nothing.
And that brought you to prison.
And that brought me to prison. But I was still they put me in juvenile detention until I was going to adult prison. And when I finally got when my actually let me tell you when the feeling set in when my lawyer called me and he said, "Hey, they're not going to try you as a juvenile. They're going to try you as an adult, and you're going to go to an adult prison." And I was like, "Fuck,
So did
dang,
what did you think then? When
damn."
it was now it's different.
Yeah, it's different. It's there. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about my first day going
Was you
to
worried?
prison. I was hella worried.
Because it's different, yo.
I was getting
Feds is different,
feds
prison
different,
system is
state
different.
prison. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
different.
Yeah,
If you ain't
you
been
know.
to either one, you can't explain it.
No, you can't,
You
man.
gotta explain it though.
You
I want you
can't.
to explain it to
You
me
can't.
though. Come on.
Okay, so I
Your
got.
first day in prison,
I got.
how it was, your
Yeah,
feelings, your emotions.
I
Yeah.
had. Okay,
And how much time did they give you?
they gave me 10 years,
So
and
nonviolent or
I
violent.
did a flat five on
So
that
that
one.
you had 10 years nonviolent.
Yeah, 10 years,
Okay, so now break it down. Your first day leaving
10
that
years
county
violent. Yep,
jail.
which is a mandatory
How was you
2.5 years.
feeling that county jail in the county jail 2 days prior to you leaving? Did you know? You didn't know?
No, I didn't. I didn't know. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I was in there with a bunch of juveniles, and I already did, fed juvie time. So me being in the little juvenile wasn't nothing to me. I had already been through it, and this was just simple. So I was relaxed in there. But I was, I'm tell you the truth. I slept good every night. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, I would miss my family, but after a few months, I got used to everything. So every day was just like, okay, what are they gonna throw at me next? And then once they came and got me, it was I was good.
Oh,
I program all the time, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always working out, you know what I'm saying? I'm always reading books, you know what I'm saying? We're either playing cards or doing dominoes or something, But it was just it was nothing, I was yeah, I can't even yeah. I
um,
didn't feel any type I didn't feel any type of way until they came and got me, and I still didn't feel any type of way until we was driving over that hill,
yeah.
and then I seen the razor wire, and then I seen
Now,
the prison towers,
now, I'm
and
a,
I'm like,
let me now. I've been to juvenile, right?
yeah,
After juvenile, I went to prison, right?
okay,
Me, it was an experiment. I ain't gonna say I was scared. I wasn't scared at all.
hmm
I wasn't. I was tired of living the same things every day.
okay, yeah,
And this here, I was worried, but I wanted to go to experiment to see how this shit really was.
yeah,
Juvenile
for
jail.
real,
So I got enough taste of it when I went to juvenile, but I realized that ain't nowhere near the movies I was watching.
no,
This is real shit what I'm saying to you,
yeah,
yo. So I said, this not real. This not jail.
hmm
I'm in juvenile. They feed you good.
yeah,
The soil meat, water eggs, whipped
yeah,
eggs, puff eggs, whatever you call powder eggs. You know, the fake stuff. Everything is fake.
Yep.
But
Turkey process.
yes, but
Shit.
it wasn't like the movies I was watching.
Yeah. What movies though?
American Me.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
one.
See, I'm from the West Coast,
Yes,
so
I know.
it was like there was so many
Probably up there.
politics. Yeah. Yeah, we had,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? We
But
had
I wasn't
everybody.
worried. I got 12 years too. I wasn't worried about going to prison. Because when I got there, when I got off the bus, I see all the gray buildings
Hmm.
with fences. I'm like,
Okay,
damn.
yeah, that's what I seen
So,
too.
and I seen the windows, and I'm like, what the hell? Can they see me or what? And I'm getting off the bus with shackles.
Shackled up.
The first door, boom, open.
Yeah,
I go in, I know I'm effed up then.
yeah,
I knew then I'm in a place where I don't have no control, but my destiny
yeah,
and my pride be.
yeah,
And I'm gonna have to leave with both of them still
yeah,
while I'm going in with both of them.
yeah,
And my manhood, you know,
yeah, for real.
and I'm gonna leave with it. So it was a new experiment.
Yeah,
Me and my roommate, the second day I got in the prison system, Ridgeland Correctional Institution, man, in 2002, I entered in there because I
okay,
was in jail the whole time from
yeah,
2000. So 2002, I went to prison. I'm in this cell with this guy, my roommate, white boy, tall white boy. We was knocking each other out like this, yo, for the hell of it.
right,
And he'd say, all right, I don't know if I can catch you now. I don't know if I can catch you because I was chubby then, you know.
okay,
I wasn't to my full extent of how I looked. But we used to knock each other out. Literally. I do him, he do me. I do him, we do him. I don't know what made us do that, but we did it all day. Who if we wake up, he got a knot. I got a knot. We know it didn't come from beating each other up. We just fall into the floor. He couldn't catch me. I couldn't catch him.
yeah,
It's funny. I mean, it was hilarious because when I knocked him out, I couldn't catch him. I couldn't catch him. He went down like a dead.
yeah,
He went down like a dead body. Bill head first. It's funny. But tell me, was your encounter the first day when you went into the building that you didn't know anyone?
hmm,
I know you don't know nobody, right?
yeah, and so
Let's go.
when I first got there, and I'm walking into the building, you know what I'm saying, because they got gate after gate after gate, you know what I'm saying, and then they got door after door, and then we finally get in there. We get into
Uh,
they got a place called Fish Row that you got to do your little time. You got to do at least 10 to 20 days on before they can class you and put you. You're going to go to the low side, which is minimum security,
yeah,
or you're going to go to the high side, which is maximum security.
yeah,
But when I first got in there, and I'm seeing all the older inmates, I'm in an adult prison, so these are people that's already been in there and done
yes,
time. So
yes.
you got dudes that are
Already in there.
already like tatted
They
up.
know about it.
They know about it. You
You
know what I'm saying?
getting
People looking
you
at you,
about to get to know about it.
and I'm telling
So
you,
hold on, let me ask you a question. So while you thinking this is what I
yeah,
wanted right here.
yeah,
While you thinking this, are you thinking to yourself like, I gotta represent me now?
yeah,
I can't just
yeah.
let nobody do nothing crazy.
That's what I
If
was.
it happened, it
Hmm.
happened. You just
Yeah,
gotta retaliate your way.
and I'm gonna tell you,
Right or wrong?
yeah, for real. That's
Okay,
what I
that
was.
right?
I said anybody tries to mess
You
with me,
can't just act crazy though.
no, you can't act right. You got to be
Yes?
respectful, but you got to be down for yours. You know
You
what I'm
gotta
saying?
handle
Yeah,
your
you got to
shit
handle
now. Yeah,
yours.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
But some situations you're gonna have to lose, and then you can
Uh-huh.
come back on top a day or
Yeah.
two later,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That's how it is in there.
Yep.
That's how it was for me.
That's how what I was thinking. So I'm going in the Fish Row, and they're
Are
trying.
you ready?
I'm ready. Hey, this is part of the lifestyle. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you ready?
I'm a gangster. You know, so I'm ready.
So listen.
This is part of it. This is what my uncles. You know what I'm saying? My dad. He done like 7 years flat right before I
So
did.
what you got to tell the kids now?
What I gotta tell the kids. You
You
know what I'm
got
saying?
10 seconds to tell them.
Stay on that right path. You know what I'm saying? Readers are leaders. Um, Try to do what your gut tells you to do and stay out of
All
trouble. You
right.
don't want
So
to end up
y'all.
like me.
So listen. We're gonna end the show. We got RS Boss 10 in the
RSC,
building. This part
bossy.
one. Part two coming soon. Like, comment, subscribe. Part two coming soon again. So the thing is, I did it. so you don't have to. Stay in school, kids. Jesus loves you.
Real.
Bye-bye.
If you lose, don't
Call
lose
me.
the lesson.